James' death shocked everyone. They couldn't believe that the man who had been so full of life last night was now dead. No. It can't be. How could my brother be dead? Dahlia shook her head repeatedly, her face full of disbelief. Please try and save my brother again. I'm willing to pay any price. I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do. Our deepest condolences. The doctor shook his head. But how could this be? Tears streamed down Dahlia's face, and she staggered backward. She couldn't believe that her brother had died just like that. Oh, James, my son. Florence wailed in anguish as James' body was wheeled out. She burst into tears at the sight of the lifeless body. She couldn't believe that her only son, whom she babied endlessly, had died so suddenly. What a tragic outcome. Doctor, my nephew was fine yesterday, so why did he die? Did you guys make a mistake during surgery? Victoria questioned. The patient suffered a severe head injury that resulted in intracranial bleeding. We've done everything we could. The surgeon quickly explained. Hearing this, Florence sprung up and swore. It's Dustin. That fucker did this. He killed my son. You're right. James must have died because of Dustin's violent assault last night. He even hit James on the head, Julie exclaimed, a sudden realization dawning on her. That goddamn bastard. How dare he kill my son? I'll make him pay. Florence roared. It can't be Dustin. Dahlia was still in denial. Dahlia Nicholson. Your brother is dead. Are you still going to defend that piece of shit? Florence was furious. There must be a misunderstanding. There must be. Dahlia kept shaking her head, unable to accept this shocking reality. Dahlia, it's true that Dustin did it. We saw the whole thing happen last night. Julie stated gravely. I was there too. This happened because Dustin assaulted James. Victoria echoed. Open your eyes and look at your brother's body. Look at what that bastard did to James' face. Florence grabbed Dahlia by the collar and dragged her toward James' lifeless body. The bruises and swelling on his face that indicated his brutal assault were still clearly visible. Why? Why did this happen? Dahlia sobbed in anguish. Her brother's death was already a huge blow to her, but the fact that Dustin was the person who killed James hurt her far worse. Although she wanted to deny this truth, all evidence pointed at Dustin, so she had no choice but to accept it. Now, she was at a loss for what to do. Why had it been Dustin? Why did he hurt her brother? What will happen to her and Dustin? Oh God, why are you doing this to me? Why? Dahlia screamed in her head. She clutched her chest and felt as her heart shattered into a million pieces as she sobbed heartbreakingly. Dahlia was eventually so overwhelmed that she collapsed, sing out on the spot. In the afternoon, inside one of the hospital's wards, Florence and the others had started handling things related to James' passing. Don't make excuses. Your palm prints are all over my brother's face, and the doctors said he suffered severe head trauma. If you weren't the one who caused it, who else could it be? Why? Why did you have to hit him so hard? Even if he did something wrong, you shouldn't have killed him. Dahlia bawled, her fist pounding on Dustin's chest. Although Dustin should be the one in pain, the person who ended up with tears streaking down their face was Dahlia. Dahlia, I think that there's something fishy with James' sudden death. Please believe me. I would never kill him. Dustin responded gravely. Believe you? How am I supposed to do that when all evidence is pointing at you? Dahlia roared. It has been proven that Dustin was the person who hit James, causing the latter to be hospitalized. Doctors have also confirmed that the cause of James' death was head trauma. These answers were concrete evidence that pointed to Dustin as the murderer. So even if Dahlia was willing to believe that this hadn't been Dustin's intention, it was an undeniable fact that Dustin had accidentally killed her brother. Calm down, Dahlia. We haven't gotten to the bottom of this incident yet. Please give me some time. Dustin's brows were furrowed deeply. How am I supposed to calm down when my brother's dead body is laying in the morgue? Dustin, from today onward, we are over. I don't want to ever see you again, so get out. Losing control of her emotions, Dahlia slapped and clawed at him. There was no way she could ever forgive him for killing her brother, which meant that from now on, they were enemies. Take care of yourself, Dahlia. I'll get to the bottom of this soon. Realizing that nothing he said was getting to her, Dustin stopped trying to explain himself and got up to leave. Instead of leaving, he headed straight to the hospital morgue. To be honest, he wasn't so confident anymore. Although his strikes hadn't been too powerful, it was true that he hit James, so there was still a chance that things had gone wrong. Still, who knew? Maybe James had terrible luck and accidentally fell to his death instead. Dustin was determined to check things out for himself. He pretended to be one of James' family members and entered the hospital morgue. Dustin found the container where James' body was being kept and pulled the drawer out, revealing a face that was blue and black. All the marks from yesterday were still clearly visible. Dustin steeled himself and began examining James' body carefully. Visible injuries on the face, bloodshot eyes, forceful impact on the forehead, damage to the back of the head, and blood clots in the nostrils. It seems like intracranial bleeding is the cause of his death, Dustin mumbled to himself, his frown deepening as he realized that James' death was indeed caused by head trauma. Could it be that he accidentally killed the other man? Dustin's heart sank at the thought. He was sure that if that were the case, Dahlia would hate him for the rest of her life. Dustin became lost in thought as he tried to think of what to do next. Suddenly, Dustin thought of something. He leaned closer and examined James' body again, paying more attention to the top of the man's head this time and carefully combing through each strand of hair. After a while, he finally found something out of the ordinary. At the center of James' scalp, there was a minuscule black dot hidden in the dense forest of hair. The dot, which was the size of a pinprick, was so small that others could have easily missed it. Dustin reached out, and a force sucked a black needle the width of a strand of hair out of James' head. I knew something was wrong. A shiver ran down Dustin's back as he studied the black needle in his hand.